Everybody. I know I am very late in getting started. In fact, this is normally when I'd be finishing. And I do have work in the morning, but I really did want to deliver on Ace Attorney tonight. So I do apologize. Some of you may want to see this at the usual hour, but this is the earliest I could get going. I waited about, I guess, a half hour or so to get, excuse me. I did to take half an hour to get and eat dinner, but we are ready to go. The good news is I managed to just unload a bunch of stuff from my to-do list at work today. I have an absolutely monumental task ahead of me for the next month, but I'm hoping that I can kind of keep this as a nice clear runway where previously I was really wondering whether or not I'd see the end of all of this stuff. But we are here for Rise from the Ashes. Now I'll confess, I was very tired at the end of the last stream. I do apologize for not making it the whole way through. But so I'm a little unfamiliar with the I'm a little unfamiliar with where we left things. I think we just started this room. So we'll take a minute here just to examine all the different items, and then we'll have a chat with Dick Gumshoe. That's the door we just came in through. Looks like you don't need an ID card to get out. I wonder what would happen if Officer Marshall cut the power while we were inside. Let's hope he remembers we're in here. Wow, look at this big pile of junk in the corner. It looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and he got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. This place is stuffed with evidence, stuffed with dreams. I'm not so sure about the dreams. It won't open. Did you really think it would? Hey pal, our security is high-tech around here. Are we gonna... Okay, I was like, are we really gonna do this for all of them? There's something sticking out of here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. I bet he doesn't tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're gonna talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of him, pal. Some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a sorry-looking fishing pole that is. Ah, that's my personal pole. Never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal, that's the metal detector. The one that led to us solving that case out on Gourd Lake, remember? Oh, right. Wow, that feels like that was ages ago. And I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it will come in handy solving some case sooner or later. That cheap-looking box? You can't judge a person by a machine or their cover. You gotta look at their heart. Endless. Alright. What's this? Blood! It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. Looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright! What if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use her testing fluid to check it out. I will, but I want to check the rest of this out first. What is the saw and paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the blue badger. Well, you might say this is my studio. Here? In the evidence room? Oh, that is a delightful reveal. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try to put it back together? Huh, good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Well, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. A puzzle? Oh, interesting. I should really be looking for the sort of the jagged edges here first, but that seems pretty clear. Aha! That might be it, actually. Thought I was gonna Dick Gumshoe this. Oop. Sorry, I should be looking at the whole picture here. Huh. This feels like it should be it, but it clearly doesn't fit. Unless... Oh, no, that can't possibly... Sorry, at this point I'm just randomly throwing stuff in. I should probably be a little more methodical with it. So this really feels like it should... Oh, I had it the wrong way around, that's why. Hello, Vanguard Master. Really? Okay. It can't be this, so it's got to be some... Yeah. Hello, Starbright Knight. How you doing? Wearying, but I got through it. How you doing tonight? There's a piece missing. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. Kind of understand how it got broken. Stable jar pieced back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. What have you been up to lately, Starbright Knight? I know I've had the pleasure of seeing you around my side for a little bit, but what's new? Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is lit. The locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker? Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Alright, so... I knew it! This is someone's right handprint. Watching some anime, and now I'm going through them. I will get to Ace Attorney in a month or two. I knew that there was some kind of film property. I couldn't remember. I read a bunch of the stuff over the course of doing this, but I didn't remember if it was an anime or a live action film. Interesting. What? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine. It's yours. Please. You have to help me. When they come to take me away, promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. Yeah, if I recall correctly, Full Metal Alchemist has one of the silliest lines that has been served up to me in YouTube. I sadly can't, for copyright purposes, put it up on the stream, but I can at least find it for you. Oh, my apologies. It's not Full Metal Alchemist. It's apparently Cowboy Bebop. Obviously, I am not a man of culture. Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. What? But you're a detective. Wait, did they seriously? It's like, there might be blood somewhere. Bloody handprint. This might actually be the only thing they want me to find. Up. Yeah, I've only seen that line because for some reason YouTube decided that that was exactly what I needed to see at that moment. Must have been one of them. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien. This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, you didn't want my opinion, you should have asked. I'm trying to actually think about all the ones that I've seen. So, I've seen Akira, but I actually don't remember it that well. And I feel like I should probably get more familiar with it. I saw Spirited Away, and I saw Princess Mononoke. I saw Howl's Moving Castle. I saw one called Metropolis, which I didn't care so much for. I mean, I maybe should try it again. I really enjoyed the German expressionist film Metropolis, but I think one of the things that kind of bugged me was there's like a big climactic sequence at the end where they kind of try to take on the mantle of Doctor Strangelove, and I really didn't feel it worked out. I'm a bit weird in that I also didn't really like Ghost in the Shell when I first saw it, and then I remember, I think it was actually after I'd worked in movies for a little bit, and then watched it again and was genuinely impressed. I think it's probably because I'm still a little puritanical when it comes to some of the most of the like games or animated films that I watch. Like, if you have something like Ghost in the Shell does, where the leading lady needs to strip completely naked in order to achieve invisibility, I'm like, come on, what do you take me for? It's one of these things where like mature seems to have the opposite meaning of what any rational person would think of. And like, that's obviously a bit of a silly thing to get hung up with. Like, there are some films that do it in a reasonable way. I mean, to be honest, I think pretty much most quote-unquote love scenes in gaming probably don't need to be there. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that was the only reason why I kind of bounced off of it, but certainly like it's nice. It's nice if I'm able to appreciate it on its own merits, and then definitely from just a pure filmmaking perspective, there were a couple of shots in there where I was like, I'm genuinely impressed by this film and this story. I think I've seen some Sailor Moon. I don't think I've seen the whole thing. And I think that's it. It feels like a very, very limited... Sorry, Tikri. It's a tricky one, right, Kree? Because like it's one that like, so I guess I'd put it to you this way, right? Like there's like Titanic, I think, is an absolutely spectacular movie. And there are a lot of ways that you can do the really famous scene of, draw me wearing this, only this. I don't actually necessarily think that was badly done. I think overall, like, it feels like the kind of the journey of the characters and the, kind of the different sort of social pressures and tensions that are created by that, right? Like that really does set up the moment for Cal to plant the heart of the ocean on Jack, and then just deliver that line to Rose. It's like, maybe you did it while you're putting your clothes back on. I feel that actually sets up a number of cross currents that are done really, really well in that film. But where it tends to lose me, I think what it kind of comes down to is that I might just be a little too unfair to the filmmakers on this, but a lot of the time when that's either in a game or in a film, I kind of get the impression that there's some director like nudging me in the ribs, saying it's like, this is what you wanted, right? And I do tend to find that I like the magic of movies. I like being able to sort of be absorbed in them. I don't necessarily like having them on as like background, or I prefer, if I can, to like really commit to the experience. And I do tend to find that there's a lot of times where the filmmakers are their own worst enemy, and they seem to really be drawing my attention to what they're doing. So like, for instance, it's not the most popular opinion that I have on it, but it's actually one of the reasons why I don't like Martin Scorsese movies as much as people might think a film snob might. I think they definitely make an effort to draw a lot of attention to themselves and to the bright ideas that they're having it. Whereas, like another example of this would be, or as an opposite example, a film like 12 Angry Men or Network, or even Casablanca. Actually, one of the things I love about Casablanca is that that's basically a movie that was the next one on the lot. Like, that was basically a pure sort of like factory model of making movies, right? Like, that was just the one that they were going to do that, week, I guess. And it's just an absolute masterpiece that they made. It's not, I mean, I love Kubrick, right? But it's not this like multi-year, marathon of a film shoot to create this masterpiece. It's just everyone, very, very competent filmmakers getting together will wind up making a really great piece of cinema. 12 Angry Men, it doesn't have a lot of flash. It doesn't, it takes place effectively in 2 rooms and then some exterior shots at the end. Network, again, it's a little under 2 hours. I think 1 minute short of 2 hours, actually, but it resolves, 3 or 4 major plot lines in that time. And they are ones... Actually, another example that I think is good of this, that would be a more recent one, would be Michael Clayton. Like, I don't really think there's a lot of scenes in Michael Clayton where it's really, like, drawing your attention to the genius of the filmmaker behind it. But it's a really nice, taut kind of thriller. So I realize these are all, like, super old movie examples, but... there's a coworker actually who really likes Marvel movies, and I feel a bit bad whenever I say it. I don't like being the like, meh, I don't like Marvel movies, but I said it's like, I fear them because I'm worried that there's going to be a quiz. Anyways, yeah, so I'm babbling on here. This was once upon a time about anime, but I feel like I should be. One person who's really great for this actually is Kite. Kite 260. He made some great suggestions for some anime, which I don't always get access to, but I would like. I'd really like to follow up because it's a. I don't know. It's one that I sort of feel. It's obviously a hugely influential style of animation, and for those of you that like being sort of film snobs or film buffs, Sergei Eisenstein, I think, actually went so far as to sort of consider animation the highest form of filmmaking because you sort of have control over everything. And the other thing that I'll really say for it is that I am surprised at how much, like, I sort of feel like, as a very serious person who takes himself incredibly seriously, I should probably like a lot more of the serious anime, like the 18 plus stuff. But I'm utterly delighted at a lot of the children's films. I mean, this is as easy as Pixar, right? Like, WALL-E's an absolutely wonderful film. But yeah, I don't know. I feel that there's both in terms of things that have informed a lot of movies that I've really enjoyed, and live action movies that I've really enjoyed, and just its overall influence on the culture. I feel like anime is something I should know a lot better than I do. And now I should just take frantic notes of Starbright Night's watching list. And maybe I'll get a list of Takri's best love scenes in movies. That way I'll set aside a weekend and learn to appreciate him. All right. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. Enhance. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if he fled out the door. Or sorry, that was the Phoenix. This just might be something significant. Hey! That's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What, this? It's called the luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow 50 bucks from the chief. Where did you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Oh, I better jot this down on the floor plans. So, Detective Gumshoe, you're a boss for the day? That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant, though. I'm gonna take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Of course. I am a detective, after all. You gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open. I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess-up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my third card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. Lock for each locker is coated with a fingerprint. So the only locker we can open is our own. Is that Mrs. Gumshoe? Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, zap, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Evidence locker added to the court record. Hey! I saw that open. So it suggested that we try to get him to talk about the SL9 incident. We'll see if Goodman's note works here. Detective Goodman's note and the switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. You can't open the lockers if your fingerprint doesn't match. If you can open it, they'll give you 50 cents. Note, police department lacks faith in its lock system. After all, Detective Goodman was stabbed here after opening his locker. But at the same time, he was found dead at the prosecutor's office. Sorry, I should probably actually go through... Okay, attorney's badge doesn't work. Well, it works, but it doesn't give me anything. Goodman's ID. I don't think that helps. King Prosecutor's Trophy given to Edgeworth, King of Prosecutors, PD on the day of the murder. Edgeworth's knife, which wouldn't be related to this room. So again, I think the idea here is that Gumshoe's trying to push the case forward, so we want something that's relevant to the evidence here. Parking stub, record of parking in the prosecutor's office lot, entered the lot at 5:12 p.m. The blue bat. Well, this is my crowning achievement, my masterpiece, you might say. But art is always misunderstood, pal. Art? He was dancing proudly on the day of the awards ceremony. There were a lot of people coming and going after the ceremony, so they took the Blue Badger away for a while. Really? Why? Oh, they said it was shameful or something like that. Shameful! I toiled night and day. I sympathize with Detective Gumshoe, but I can see why they moved it. So we shared this, and that also brought up the knife. Can only be submitted to the chief of... Well, let's see. Allow me to say one thing, speaking as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. Nothing! That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. Could you take a... Sorry, I didn't even realize... But no, I would have sent that anyway, because it's the ID log. That's the log for this room. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa! What is it? The second number? It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. What? Second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? What? Who would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? Doesn't want to... Okay, I'm a little stumped on what to do after this. Oh. Now that was a bloody, violent case. Violent? So it was a murder. A serial killing. A serial killing. Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. The killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight, and started the rumor mill. Rumors about forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So the switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? I guess I should be, before I do that, do anything, I should be looking for this missing piece. Unless maybe it's... Blue Badger is still writhing around today. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's dancing. Speaking of dancing, the whole police department has been dancing around like crazy since yesterday. Can I take out his batteries? I just can't help but feel he's gonna do something naughty. I'm actually going to try the underground parking lot and see if maybe there's something about the pot. That's where we found the note. 221 SL9, the SL9 incident. A case that was due for transferal the day of the murder. And the detective in charge of the case was the victim. I wonder what kind of case this SL9 incident thing was. It's kind of hard to guess just knowing the case number. This rope, is it? Yep, they laid it in the outline of the victim's body. So wait, the victim must have died when the killer closed the trunk on him. You've got to be the only person I know that would come to that conclusion. So what I was hoping here was we might find something related to the pot, but no luck. You never know. I think if I talk to her... Okay. Well, where should we begin? Oh, well, isn't it obvious? We should begin that with that, you know, that thing. Mystery of the victim, I guess. How could one man, Detective Goodman, be killed in two places simultaneously? Oh, well, you see, we should go to the police department. The evidence room, was it? I'm not being very useful here, am I? No, you're being very helpful. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy, with what with all those rumors. You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. There was that business with him not reading that officer's report about the killing at the police department, right? Chief of police was right about that. I can't help but think, someone at the police department doesn't like Edgeworth. Alright, that didn't give me too much. So I would have guessed that presenting, but we kind of already gave him everything. Yeah. Allow me to say one thing speaking as a detective. I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about. I say nothing. Nothing! That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. It said this was empty. I'm gonna get... Oh. Someone left a glove here, but only one. Ah, SL9. Alright, have a good one, Starbright Knight. Detective Gumshoe, maybe. There you go, pal. Making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? It does have a tag on it. Rubber glove added to the court record. Tagged evidence from the SL9 incident. Extremely thin rubber glove. Hey, pal. Look at the time. Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm going to give him my report for the day. It might help, you know? Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can read a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Okay, so obviously, I don't know if that's... So I don't know if there's like an inventory of things that I'm supposed to do inside here, or if the glove was the catalyst, but I'm assuming we completed everything we needed to do here. Yellow crime scene tape. You know, yesterday was my first time seeing that. It was always my dream to push through the crowd and just step over the tape. It's a little daunting to encounter it again so soon. I think maybe you're overreacting a little. Put these pieces together, it makes a jar. There are two things that bother me. One, why are some of the pieces missing? Two, doesn't it seem a little unstable? No wonder it broke. It's got to be upside down. I'll make sure to remember that next time I make a jar. February 23rd, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Ah, guests, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave, so long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. Has the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe is looking for you. Ah, yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? It was helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info's on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. So how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this as not a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened? They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police, Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you, why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still, I've never seen him this out of sorts. So I'm assuming we press him on the SL9 case. Not quite what I wanted to do. I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right? It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You're the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too, then? He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a deputy chief of police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't... Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. Okay, that wasn't as decisive as I was hoping. This is the same. I'm just going to finish my tea here. I'm back to, I don't know if it's the heat or just the hours that I've been working, but I'm still feeling completely white. Now, in fairness, I'm like streaming at the time that I would normally finish, but just give me a quick minute here to sip some tea. At the top of the hour, I will take a break just so I can put the kettle on again, but I do want to get to the end of the game today, so I will not finish early. Should probably get some water here as well, but okay, sorry about that. Oh, hang on. There's obviously one thing I want to talk to him about. Oh, right. I'd better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage? Edgeworth, you went into the evidence for that room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go, by Chief Gant, no less. Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. Chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. Really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I'd better make a note of it. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's brought back to his office by Gant's request. Stubborn as always. I have told you this has nothing to do with the current case. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor, wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science... Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testing fluid, Well then, you might have use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We're the enemy, you know. I have no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Fingerprinting set and fingerprint file received. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. All right, that kind of sets it. So one of the things I was going to say was, it says recovers fingerprints from handprints for comparison with fingerprints file. I was going to say, okay, that might be an indication for the evidence room, but because we'd be moving down to the parking lot first, let's take a look there. But the game pretty much just said, go to the place where there's a handprint, so I will... But first, the blue badger is still writhing around today. So it seems to me, while I don't want to be too early in terms of taking a break, this seems like the sort of thing that's great to keep on a loop. So I'm going to be a little early with my break. I'm going to try and keep it quick. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to brew some tea, and then I'll be back to run this through. I may take another break in another hour, but I do want to try and finish this tonight. So I will be back in a little bit. All right. Have you all been sufficiently terrified into submission? Thank you for your patience. We were doing evidence, right? February 23rd, evidence room, sector 3. Thank you, Cree. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. I mean, here, and this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Enhance. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. So I'm wondering if they did this because there's more than one handprint. A finger. Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With enter, see? Ah, it looks like that did the trick. The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just flow away the excess. How do I do that? With E. Exciting, I know. I'm going to assume that you had to blow on the microphone in the original. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. See? Wow, that looks fun. Might take some getting used to, though. It's fine. Won't go up your nose or anything. That's the second lawyer game. Just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. Guess I'd better give it a try. Cocaine! I'm trying to blow, but... Okay, let's just really pile it on. Trace Murray used so many... Oh, that's neat. Yeah, definitely the one I remember the best is The World Ends With You. And of course Professor Layton. But Professor Layton I don't feel used as many of the... I don't think it used the microphone. Did use the wireless though. Aha, you did it. You found one. But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. It's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker door again closely. It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. Cocaine! Aha! So I was reading, or actually this one I heard on a podcast. I was hearing on the Economist podcast today that the price of cocaine, or at least the profits for cocaine, have gone down, and so gangs have now switched to illegal gold mining. I don't understand the world sometimes. Really? You're gonna make me... Okay, fine. Yay! A print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling. Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth. And point out the person you think left these prints. Well, how am I supposed to know what it was? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on the evidence locker? I'm not quite sure what this middle bar is, but... yeah, there we go. Makes me think of Uzumaki. Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking so what. Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Alright, so... didn't completely hang me out to dry on that. Quite think this is... this is where I got a luminol fluid reaction, right? Right, there was a handprint here. Okay, want to try using this? There go her eyes sparkling again. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints? Did you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Enhance. I mean, I don't see anything obvious on the... I could just randomly start hitting enter on parts, but my guess would have been to see something around these areas, but I got nothing. Huh. Detective Goodman's evidence locker. It's empty. Only Detective Goodman himself can open this locker. So the person who took out this knife must have been Mr. Goodman. But why was it wrapped in the scarf muffler and stuck inside the car muffler? So I was thinking that there would be the I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something with this, but... Check for prints. Spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you something first. The area with the blood was wiped away. Since that area will be wiped away too. Anyway, let's try to find prints that weren't wiped away. And this is where I get kind of stumped because I don't see anything even remotely close to a print. And again, I can probably just spam all the different I don't know if it protects against that, but I kind of feel like I'm not supposed to know what's happened here. But it does I do wonder why the game pointed me to this spot. So I'm gonna lean in close just to see. Sorry. Oh, okay, so randomly picking did work. I guess it kind of makes sense here, like there wasn't a bloody handprint there, but there was, I guess the presumption is that there was a, that the hand went to that spot. Okay, and then we snort the cocaine. There we go. I mean, it's close-ish. They're normally identical in the... Yeah, like that. Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Marshall's fingerprints added to the court record. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma? This is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh! So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain. But why would Officer Marshall... Looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. To be continued. February 24th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. Hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye. We found evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? You have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. February 24th, 10 a.m., District Court. Courtroom number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim is from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meakin, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. Sir, telling us are you a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. Person whose actions adults cannot possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir. Can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Kind report, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed to the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you. Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir, and watching the generals have their affairs. Yikes. Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during any during the transferal process. Let's just hold on that for a minute. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony was finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see, huh? The number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time was when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. See, so it was during that second time when... Yes, sir. That's when I spotted the man on the security screen. Data added to the ID card report. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, I suppose he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life. Then I did it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. See. He must have been desperate. Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of blood. And then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. Contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. Objection! What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. It's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. It's like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh! Please stop using that word murderer, sir. It scares me. Video of a real murder? Just what are we getting ourselves into? Videodrome. This is never going to not be funny. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? I should have a... This is still kind of hot tea. Video from the security camera placed in the evidence room. Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened was unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have had to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. The one question I have is that it's not clear to me how those handprints wound up on the lockers based on the video. And it seems to me like the video is the sort of thing that should be produced. Oh, sorry, I've got a message. Okay, sorry about that. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. So yeah, the question for me would be, there were 2 palm prints that we wanted to account for, which aren't really accounted for in the video, but presumably the video is... Well, I mean, we're in a situation where apparently the murder victim has appeared in 2 places at the same time, so I'm not taking anything for granted. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead. But everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter? The latter. You were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. Thank you very much for the raid, Vesper. Hope you're doing well. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking to them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd bet my badge on it. There's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Makins! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Good to see you, Vesper. I hope your stream went well. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir! You claim the man who brandished the knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. Wonder what kind of methods he tried. The man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints. Then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir. And this too. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from the people in the know, sir. People in the know. Workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. How's it going, Silver 85? I verified this information through a more reliable source. Sorry, I think the weather's kind of gotten me sleepy, so I'm trying to pep myself up with the tea. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify to enough to this, sir. Oh, here's the obvious point. He's wearing a glove. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Oh. So it's not the hand, it's the fact that the locker was already open. But you all can enjoy the Blue Badger for a bit.
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Sorry, just dealing with a message. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit! Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah! Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert at this. It's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh, well, just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor. Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something jammed the sensor. Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. This is so deliberate. The locker wasn't locked, Mr. Wright. Please point out the cause for this. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that when things fall out, when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door. We can't be sure that this item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted. No music? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me, but the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits that description. But sir, by insulator, don't you mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was the insulator that was stuck in the locked door? I wish. An extremely thin rubber glove. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure it was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is that not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir. Order, order, order. So are we to believe, then, that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in this video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir? Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Mystery man number 2. There's one other thing that proves a man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. And why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There are only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let's move on to the cross-examination. So, one thing I don't want to present. So we've got 512 parking stub. Okay, yeah, Edgeworth is still... He's still got enough time. All right. So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as a stone, sir. My hand wasn't wrapped in bandages. I'd even give you the V for victory sign, sir. Can you just use his right hand for that? Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman? What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all this stuff. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Shh, don't stare at him. You've got the wrong color, kid. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak to you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. Must be so difficult for him. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Earlier, I believe, you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked. Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. I'm thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. So I'm assuming that I just showed them the ID card. Yep. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report? It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right? Can't say for sure. There is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order! Order! So now, what does all this mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murderer in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is fake, which means the murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Ms. Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment of the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah! I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this? Objection! One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. However, it cannot be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? Presumably Officer Marshall? Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? Can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. Prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. All right. I need a refill of tea. I also need water and a stretch. It's midnight, so I really do need to think about going to bed. I'm gonna try and get to the end of this today, but obviously we're working we're working through a trial where it's not clear where things are going. So, but trying to pace myself with a few breaks and things like that will allow me to go a little bit later, I think. Anyways, I will be back as soon as I can. Sorry, I guess you'll have to enjoy the silence. Maybe some ads. See you later. Okay. Thank you all for your patience. I feel like I should. So, one thing I did notice while I was on break, I did try to take a look and see how long this case is, and apparently there's another day to this. So this is making me think I'm not going to be able to see it through all the way to the very end. I will do my best. I will try and take it to a logical conclusion. But where my intention was to finish this up today, I think, especially given that I have work tomorrow and I do need to be reasonably sharp for it, and I'm already sort of pushing the edges of that, I think should probably get ready for the fact that I may not be able to see this thing through to the end. But what I will do, I'm not crazy about the idea of sort of pushing it yet another week away. So maybe what I will do, because there'll probably not be a full run for Friday, maybe what I'll do is I'll do Phoenix Wright on Friday, finish that off, and then whatever time we have left, I can use as the option for Cyberpunk if people are interested. So that's roughly how I plan to work on that. Sorry, just responding to a message. All right. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Anna, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, make a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey, 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 hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh. Oh ho, oh ho, 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 ho. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I would have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. Can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. This guy was a witness? SL9 incident files received from Lana Sky. Files for the Joe Dark killings solved 2 years ago. Take it from me, you won't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I've brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in here? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago. The rest of the world knew it as... the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No. No, Lana. That's over with. No! Oh, wait. She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you might just be able to figure it out. Time to get back into the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Better take a good look at this file. Oh, for heaven's sake. Okay, I realize I just took a break, but if it's gonna tell me save here, I think I'm actually gonna... I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Because it is past midnight and I do actually need to get to work. So I do apologize. If I'd known that it was gonna be... if I'd known that this was gonna be a save point, I obviously would have just pushed through and got the case done, but I am tired. I realize it's been a couple of days in a row that I've done shorter streams. I will try, like I said, in terms of work, I'm going to have just a monumental task ahead of me, but the pressure of a bunch of just like individual tasks is sort of gone. Probably can't do anything about the weather, but I'm hoping what this will mean is that I'll have at least proper start times, and then I won't be as tired for going late at night in that. I will see if anybody's online. I know I haven't been able to host people lately just because of the hour that I'm finishing at, but... Oh, we've got Revive Snow. All right. I'm going to leave you in Revive Snow's capable hands. And like I said, I realize that the streams have been getting a bit later, and I'm particularly worried about the fact that the streams have been getting shorter. So my intention is probably after this week or so, I will be going back to full-length streams. That is a little bit conditional on me being able to start them at a decent hour. Obviously, tonight I started them at the time I would normally finish. But I think I don't think that will be too hard of a goal to hit. We'll see. But thank you everybody for watching. Again, I will change it up a little bit this week. So on Friday, I will be doing Phoenix Wright. I'll try and wrap it up. If we have time left, then we'll do a bit more Cyberpunk. And then next week, we'll be able to do something new. And I guess it kind of depends on how I'm feeling on Monday before I find out what that is. But for now, please enjoy Revive Snow, who's playing Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Until then, take care.